in a crash than when a driver does not use a phone. To highlight the initiative, the City of Cape Town's Bylaw, introduced in July 2012, that gave police the right to confiscate cell phones being used whilst the motorist is driving, unless using a hands-free kit, has contributed towards reducing road deaths by 38%. Now, to discuss the issue more, we are joined in studio by Arnold van der Linde, who is the Executive Chairman of Integrisure. There we go, I got it. Integrisure Group. Good to have you.
Hi,
Welcome to Morning Live. It's so nice to have you on the program to talk about an issue that affects every single one of us. Because I don't care who you are, everybody picks up that phone while they're driving for some reason or other, and it's a massive problem. Okay, I've heard somebody in studio, no, not me, I don't do it. But all right, so there are a few of us who don't do it. But why? Why do we continue to do it when we know it's so bad for us?
We all do it, but not in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Because they take it.
All right.
Yeah. No, I think it's become an extension of our being, this modern technology, without us thinking. I mean, your brain is not even thinking that you've got to breathe at the moment. So in a way, this new technology has become an extension of our being, and even on portable iPads and things like that. So you check it constantly because that's how you operate.
That's it.
And then we forget what the risks is when you're in your car and you're driving, because the risks are just tremendous. You refer to international studies. The World Health Organization has determined it as maybe the biggest killer of people on the roads.
Really? Is using your phone while driving?
Is using your phone, but specifically texting while driving.
Texting while driving.
Now that's also become an extension of our total being. And that is what then happened. In the state of Virginia, they did a huge study on truckers and came to the conclusion that texting specifically detracts you for more or less 4.5 seconds. When traveling at 80 kilometers an hour, in 4.5 seconds, you travel the length of a football field. Before you can react, then it takes you another 2.5 seconds, like 1, 2, before you can react.
Yeah.
And then you've traveled 150 meters. And then it's just too late. And that is basically what kills people.
Yeah. It's one of the most frightening things because it is so commonly done and so commonly used. And I mean, these photographs that we're looking at on screen, this is everyday common use.
We know that scene.
We know it.
Yeah.
We all do it. And it's wrong. It's very wrong. Even if you're stopped at a traffic light, that's the reality, is that you stop at a traffic light and you think, okay, great, let me quickly do it now. I can have a look, but then the robot's green and you're still sitting there.
Yeah. Or you're distracted, you don't see somebody else, because you've got to react very quickly in traffic.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. If it takes 2 seconds longer to react, you've traveled 50 meters, and in 50 meters you can be killed or you can kill somebody else.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's happening in Cape Town, because that's really the crux of the interview, and the fact that it's working is perhaps something that we should learn as a lesson nationwide. So Cape Town, legislation that if you are found on your cell phone, a police officer can confiscate it there and then.
Yes.
How does it work?
What they do, and they've started doing that for about a year ago, and they're now reporting, and figures are not very clear yet, but over the December period that they've seen a big decline in the number of deaths on their roads. But of course they have a big campaign. They really drive it very hard. So what they do is they would not arrest you. They'll take your cell phone. They'll seal it in a specific process, a very secure process that they go through. And then you can go and collect it at the police station or at the traffic department and pay your 500 Rand fine. Second offense, 2,000 Rand fine. And then from there, they would take you to court. Now, I go to Cape Town from time to time, and I'd like to ask you in a couple of months again, because I know you go there too.
Yeah.
When I go to Cape Town, I don't even touch my phone because I can't afford to lose it. And I think, therefore, it works. People know that this is going to happen, and they report that they've had tremendous success with regards to people now concentrating on what you're doing, because you're driving a machine that can kill other people. It's very important in South Africa to go through a big process before you can get a firearm, because you can kill somebody with it. But you can actually kill a lot more people with your vehicle if in 4.5 seconds you don't react or you're distracted. And that has, of course, a huge effect on insurance premiums, on what it costs the country, not even to count the deaths. But it's a tremendous burden on the total economy.
So, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, we're saying that the death toll has gone down by 38%. I mean, that's what I'm reporting on here. Is that
that's
adequate?
What's been said.
Well, we're talking in the city of Cape Town.
In the city of Cape Town, yeah, they've seen a decline.
So why is this not a nationwide campaign? I mean, is it something that perhaps could happen?
I think it could happen. Of course, these provinces influence one another. The city of Cape Town is always leading with these kind of things, like with the Drager test and all of those kind of things. So they're at the forefront. And I think it will probably now go through to other provinces.
Okay.
In KwaZulu-Natal, we always see zero tolerance. So, you know, I spoke to somebody the other day that said, but us from overseas, I saw on the roads today a lot of people on the back of trucks being transported. Is it legal? I said, no, it's not legal, because there is an act against that. People have to be transported in a canopy in a secure environment. So I think law enforcement will catch on with it, because we've got to do something about the deaths on the road.
We certainly do. Let's talk about world experience now, because, great, this is the city of Cape Town, but obviously around the world it's an issue. I mean, it's not just a South African problem. This is everywhere. What have we seen some countries in the world doing to try and minimize what's going on?
In specific states in America, they would also confiscate your phone, but of course there they operate in states and even in cities. A lot of studies has been done in the States about this at the moment. Last year, July, the National Congress passed an act ruling on people that work for government in the whole of America that they're not allowed to use their cell phones. Anybody that works for postal services, any of those services, not allowed to use their phone while driving, texting, or anything else. So they're very serious about it, and in some states they're also doing the same as what Cape Town is doing. State of Virginia did a big study that's now the leading study there, was on the Oprah show and everything, but in that leading study it showed that you are more likely to not react quick enough while texting, because it distracts you for 4.5 seconds on average, than what you are if you're slightly intoxicated, or even if you had a dagazol. Because that 4.5 seconds at a speed of 120 is a killer, because you're going to travel 160 meters before you can react. Then you still, I mean, react is to decide to react, and then you still need 2 seconds or 3 seconds before your brain is going to say, slam on the brake. And then, you know, it's just too late.
Yeah, it is too late. Oh, yeah, you're certainly giving me some food for thought, because I am guilty of it. I really am. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying that I sit and have monstrous conversations, but you yourself said also driving here to the interview.
Yeah,
you were tempted.
I'm going to talk about this now. No, don't touch that phone.
Exactly. And I think you talk about the Oprah campaign, and I remember it was basically a phone-free zone. I think that was what she tried to initiate in your car, to make it a phone-free zone.
Make it a safe environment, take all the possible distractions away. Because we're so curious as human beings. And that's your lifeline. It's become part of your living.
It's an extension of our hand.
So if it says beep, you want to check
I mean, if that light flashes, it's like the world is coming to an end if you don't check who, what, how, when, even if it's the bank that just took money off your phone. Leave it rather. Let it flash. I suppose that's what we have to do. What about hands-frees? I mean, that's obviously...
Hands-free is so legal, you can talk. There's a certain, in the studies it also shows that you're distracted while you're talking over the phone. And of course, you know, you can say the same about your radio, your CD, your iPod, or any one of those kind of things. It's a distraction. But in the city of Cape Town, you can talk to somebody else using a hands-free. But it's the texting that is right there at the top of the list.
So it's really the texting that's a problem. What about, I mean, what is the impact on the insurance industry? Because I think that's perhaps an angle we need to have a look at. That's where you come from.
It has a huge impact on insurance, on your and my insurance premium, because built into that, of course, is all of those things that can happen out of that pool. Now, the one thing that we have in South Africa that's quite a problem is that only 1 out of every 3 vehicles using the roads have insurance. So there's a lot of talk in the insurance industry, and also with a national treasury, that we have to also, like other countries, have a compulsory third-party insurance. In other words, where you have at least cover for covering somebody else's damage. Now, firstly, of course, there's the deaths, and you can't calculate how much that costs a country.
Yeah, of course.
Over and above the medical costs and all those kind of things that goes with it. But then also in, the loss of property, the cars that have to be fixed and all of that. And it has a huge impact because probably, I would say about a third of the premium that you and I pay for comprehensive motor insurance could be affected by this, if we can just remove this bad habit of ours.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of other things as well, but at somewhere where we've got to start, and it will then eventually get premiums down, so that we don't have to pay for those incidents that we as a human race could have prevented, that we now know does happen.
Yeah. Interesting conversation. Thank you so much for talking to us here. Oh, I tell you, the more we invent, the harder we make our lives.
Oh, yes.
I've just realized that.
It keeps on being
I know.
challenged.
Arnold van der Linde, who's Executive Chairman of Integrisure Group, talking to us about driving and texting and cell phones and how difficult it is. But I think a success story certainly coming out of the Western Cape, out of Cape Town, the city of Cape Town's bylaw that was introduced in 2012 that says that if you are found on your cell phone texting and driving, it can be confiscated there and then for 24 hours, and you have to pay an amount to get it out. And of course, if it's a second offense, it's more money, third offense.